Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video, and as you can see, this is my TN, my Traveler's Notebook, and I use this to scrap about the books I read. This is the book that I am featuring on this layout called the Dazzling Truth. This was another one that I got on Chirp as an audiobook, and I quite enjoyed it for the most part. Towards the end, there was kind of a little twist in the story that I don't know. I didn't feel like it was necessary, and I wasn't quite sure why the author chose to do it or why the author thought it was necessary in the story. I don't know. I'm not sure. I almost felt like it took away a little bit from everything that had come like in the first 5/8 of the novel. But judge for yourself. Other than that, I loved it. It's set in Ireland. It's actually set on an island off the coast of Ireland, and I have seen those islands, and so that's what originally intrigued me about it, simply because I love all things Irish. So do with that what you will. If you want to read it or not, you can certainly look it up on Goodreads and get the synopsis. But I have to scrap it because I'm almost to the end of my 2020 books. So this one will go on this right side. I have absolutely nothing picked out for it at all. So I'm just starting with this. I probably want to stay away from a lot of blue things because this is so blue in the background. Other than that, I have nothing. So we'll see what happens. All right, I have my bag of stuff that is all reading related. I will go through this first to see if there's any kind of embellishments or phrases, background paper, anything that might work with this photo. Well, I didn't find anything in that bag for background paper that I thought would look good here, but I went into my stash and I was looking at the photo, and the title is in a cream color or very light yellow, and so I thought, well, maybe I could do something with that. I actually found this piece in there, and it's a little bolder than what I thought I might use, but I like it because this background is so subtle. It's just blue sky, but you do see the yellow here and a little bit in the hats, and I'm thinking if I layer this somehow like so. I want the photo towards the bottom since this one is on the left. I think it's just a nice juxtaposition there. And so if I layer it somehow like that, it still leaves me this whole room to journal. Plus I have some empty space here where I could overlap an embellishment. So I'm really liking that idea. I did decide to cut down that paper, and then I decided to adhere it directly to the bottom edge. I like the way that looked. And then I did overlap the photo as I had planned. So that all looks great, I think. Now I need to find something to go over here. I think some kind of an embellishment, phrase, label, something to overlap. And then I don't know if I'll stamp something up here and still leave room for my journaling, not sure, but I think I'll start with this side first. So I pulled out a bunch of my embellishments and then just my phrase labels and things like this that I can add to the page. And I have a set of wood veneers, and I thought maybe I would like one of those, but none of the phrases were quite right. So I decided not to do that. But when I was looking through the phrases here, I did find this one. It's always a good day to read. And that's true because this is a book where it certainly wasn't my favorite, but I still enjoyed it, and I just enjoy the act of reading. And so I think that's appropriate. I like the fact too that the grass has a very subtle green here, which brings out the background of this phrase. And where it says a novel, I could actually just cover that up and overlap this like so, and then it almost looks like it's a subtitle to this, but it still works. I think I'm going to do that. All right, I attached it flush to the left-hand side and then still overlapping this. And then luckily, I remembered I had printed some of these on sticker paper, so all I had to do was peel off the backing and it was ready to go. I have decided to add in some lines here for journaling, and I don't do anything too scientific here. I take a scratch piece of paper and my pen, and I just make a line. I run it along the edge. I eyeball it. I don't need it to be perfect. I suppose you could line it up to the middle to be sure it's going to be straight, but I don't know that I want the lines going all the way across either. So I think Maybe I'll just start about here. And that's all I do, like so. Actually, you know what? I could fit one more in here. If I go like this, I'll start down here. And again, I just eyeball it. So I'm not really measuring either to make sure they're even as they go across. I just do it like so, and however it turns out, it turns out. I have done my lines up there, and I think that's enough room for me to journal with whatever I want to say. And it leaves me a nice space up here where I can still do something with it. I do feel, however, though, that I need some kind of other embellishment, and I'm thinking I might just do some puffy hearts. This is, among other things, you know, chiefly a love story in that the story of these two, the wife has some mental health issues, and so that becomes a struggle throughout their marriage and with raising children, and how she sees the trajectory of her life, and then how he as the partner has to deal with that and how he accepts it, learns to live with it, if you will. And so I feel like hearts would be appropriate here since that's a huge part of the story. So I think I'm going to go get a bunch out of my stash and hopefully something will match what I've already done. I've pulled out a bunch of different puffy hearts here. I think these don't have the backing piece in them anymore, but I think these were from Felicity Jane. These are some old ones I have from Citrus Twist. These are newer ones from Ellie's Studio. I think I just got these, oh, I don't know. It was in one of their kits, I forget. But I love the bright, bold colors. Not sure that's totally going to work here, but I like them. These are some other Citrus Twist ones, I think, that I just had left over from old kits. These are as well, but these are, whoops, there we go. These are much bigger. And I think I want a mix of the bigger ones and then maybe some smaller ones. And I'll just scatter them around wherever I think they look good. I decided to introduce a pink heart there just to add some other color because I felt like this blue, green, and yellow, I don't know. It sounds wrong to say they're monochromatic because they're not. It just felt very flat to me, I guess. So I needed a pop of some other color, and I really like the pink. It's subtle, but it's a nice pop of color. And then I do have some pink Heidi Swap Color Shine that I think I'm going to do a little bit maybe up here just to bring that in so this doesn't seem like, oh, that's the only pink thing that's on there. So I want to tie that in somehow. So I think I'm going to do that. But then I also have these two hearts here. I think I want to use one of those. They're slightly different shades of yellow, but I think I want to use one of those up here to offset these two once the splattering is done. So this is the ink that I'm going to use, or the mist that I'm going to use. Heidi Swap Color Shine, and the color is Blush. So I did my splattering on here, which you can see, and it's just enough. I think that is the perfect amount and just enough pink to tie it all together. So now I just have to pick out which of these two hearts I want to use up top. I decided to go with the heart that matched this one. The other one was yellow but slightly off. These are the exact same hue, so I think that's the better choice. And I thought about stamping up here, but I don't think I want to. I think I want to just leave it. I'll start my top line here, so you'll still see black writing there, and I don't think having that extra space will be an issue at all. And so this one is done. It was a super simple one, but sometimes that's a good thing. Thanks for watching.